What is happening, guys? Welcome to the Dynasty WarZone, the People's Dynasty podcast. On today's show, we are going full degen. We are talking NFL training camp and the impact it's had so far on the dynasty values for Dynasty Fantasy Football. And a man whose value has never been higher to me. He is, in fact, my co-host. He is the man of the hour and the man with the power, Jerry Sinclair. Boy, what is going on?
Nothing. Enjoying the absolute scorcher of a sun that I have here in Iowa today, tomorrow, and the next day. It's supposed to be like 113 degrees. So I live in hell on earth, but we get to talk football, which is absolutely heaven, baby. What's new with you?
Oh, same. But I will say Indiana's slightly better than Iowa in that at least our winters aren't as bad as your winter. Like, you guys get the worst of both.
Of everything?
The worst of everything. Dry, flat, horrible summers. I've been to Iowa like 2 years ago. You were there. And then you get like the most brutal, cold winters. Like, it's almost Minnesota-esque. It's like you got to be a special kind of tough to be like an Iowa type person. Have you gotten tough yet in your few years there?
No, God, no, stop it. You know damn well I haven't.
I do. I was just trying to put you over a little bit, but we have a bunch of nuggets and notes, and one of them ties directly to an old friend of yours, Ben Johnson. But anything you've noticed? So I put some notes together. I know Jerry's been super busy and work and what have you, but anything that you've noticed or taken away?
I mean, Corey Walters just said it in the chat. Your boy Jake Ferguson got a new deal in Dallas. They'll do anything they can to not sign Micah Parsons. If that means giving Jake Ferguson money, then that's what it means.
Laquan Jones used to be with the NFL Network. I think he's with Fantasy Pros now. Super awesome guy, former guest of the show. But he and I were, having a positive, a kind Twitter engagement the other day, and it almost made one of the topics I wanted to cover tonight. But Laquan is like way in on Jake Ferguson this year, and I was right there with you. He was a lock, an absolute lock for 100 targets in 2025. I think it's still in the realm of outcomes, the range of, the potential, but with George Pickens there, I don't know that he's guaranteed 100, but I love the fact that they paid him. And Dallas, I got some notes here. Dallas averaged 37.5 pass attempts per game last year. I don't think the defense is any better, but they've got Dak. And you start divvying up 38 pass attempts a game, and it's not hard to see Jake Ferguson getting 8 targets a game, Jerry.
No, I mean, he's fine, right? Like, as long as Dak is going to play there, that offense is going to be fine. But I am perennially, year after year, a guy that always takes Dak because everybody hates him, and he's a value. He has always been a value. I mean, he was like a 3rd or 4th round pick in the NFL draft too. Like, it's like that guy has never gotten the love that he should get. And I always love CeeDee Lamb, and CeeDee Lamb will carry everybody, which is absolutely magnificent. George Pickens is fine. I don't know. You're never really going to sell me that George Pickens is awesome.
Well, I don't think he's awesome, but I think he could be like a DK Metcalf plus in this offense.
I don't think he can. I think he's a poor man's version.
Man, you have to pay so much respect to CeeDee Lamb that he is going to get a lot of one-on-one coverage, and he will be able to exploit that. And the volume, there's going to be plenty of volume there. And I'll just want to piggyback off what you said about Dak. There's this subset of quarterbacks that people find incredibly boring, but are incredibly value for Dynasty Fantasy Football. Dak, Jared Goff, Baker Mayfield. I think Bo Nix entered that conversation last year. There is this Kirk Cousins was in this group for a long, long time.
Yeah, he was. He was that group.
He might have been like the founding member of this group. It's a guy who's going to finish somewhere in the quarterback 6 through 10 range, maybe 12 on a bad year. He's going to give you plenty of fantasy points, and just the redraft and I don't know, like upside. There's nothing wrong with chasing upside, but the upside chasers will tell you because they have no rushing floor, they're not as valuable. That is incorrect. Dak Prescott will finish the season, again, as long as he stays healthy. Same as Jared Goff, same as Baker Mayfield, same as Bo Nix. As long as they don't get hurt, they're going to finish as a top 10 quarterback. And if you can get two of those guys and on like maybe a build, dude, you could have went like wide receiver. Those are guys that you can get like in the third or fourth round of a super flex startup.
100%. And they're it. I mean, that's been your MO for how damn long, though. Randy loves everybody that everybody hates when it comes to quarterbacks. Everybody who is the least sexy human being that you could imagine on a dynasty quarterback spot.
I was going to say, I mean, you know, Sam Darnold, like not sexy in fantasy last year. Sam Darnold's he's kind of sexy, like sexy. Not like fantasy sexy, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But you know what else is sexy, Jerry? And I got to partake quite a bit this past weekend. Fast draft.
You asked, we delivered a full best ball tournament on Fast Draft, but we do it the Fast Draft way, and it's called the Rabbit, because of course it is. 20-second time clock, 15 rounds. These drafts, they take 20 minutes. That's it. So you get a lot of new people coming in and playing, get a lot of best ball bros playing, exploitable ADPs, no rake. It is the best EV in all of fantasy. You should just go to fastdraft.app, use code FAST. You get a $50 deposit match. These things are a blast, and it's the best use of your funds in all of fantasy.
So you were in Ohio.
I was in Ohio. We had a 5-day baseball tournament. I was in Ohio from Wednesday until Saturday, Jerry.
Did you do more than 20?
No, it does take a little while. Here's the and gang, if you don't want to hear the fast draft thing, you can fast forward about 90 seconds. But the fast draft thing is so much fun. And here's the thing. Holy shit, the Rabbit is full. It's full. It's over. They did like a new version of the Rabbit. I'm like, what the hell? Like I literally, you're from Michigan. Have you ever heard of the theme park Kings Island?
No, I have not.
It's your standard fare. It's Six Flags. It's but they've got a really good water park. All the guys that I coach in baseball, they all went and rode roller coasters, the all-you-can-eat food, which is not a wonderful combination, by the way. But that's what they did. I went and sat by like what they call Soak City. Dude, I got a nice spot, and I think I did 9 drafts in 6 hours.
Okay.
I think that's solid. And so I ended up getting about 15 in, and it's fun. Now, these are 10-person drafts, right? And I will tell you, Jonathan Taylor is a steal. He is going somewhere in the 3rd round. He is going what would be like in a 12-team league. He's going around that 2-3 turn. I think Jonathan Taylor is going to be an absolute steal there. Tyreek Hill, if his seasonal redraft ADP mirrors what I've seen in the Rabbit, he is going to win championships. Those are the kind of guys that I was targeting. But the Rabbit, you use promo code WarZone, you get a dollar for dollar match up to $50. So you can get 50 into 100. 100 gets you anywhere from 20 to 10 drafts or 5 drafts, depends on which ones you go for. Super fun, fast draft. I believe in it because I love it. Jerry, I do have some good people, bad tweets this week.
Let's go.
And it's actually a good person with a good tweet talking about people who, in fact, make bad tweets. Are you ready?
Okay. Yeah.
So this came from Brandon Carney at Benchwarmer Brand. I don't know if he just ran out of questions or Brand's a street name. I don't know. At Benchwarmer Brand. The absolute worst fantasy creators you can follow are the ones that say stuff like, last year I told you to draft Brian Thomas Jr., so listen up, because these are the guys for this year. And then he goes down. And then you scroll back to that same video where they liked Brian Thomas Jr. and they also liked Kyle Pitts, Blake Corum, Travis Etienne, and Malachi Corley. Now I could have stopped at the first paragraph. And by the way, someone's a good listener of the show, a loyal fan like Slashy. Because
I was going to bring it up.
He's in the YouTube chat saying you guys should talk about this, and I was like, whoa. My man's clairvoyant, that can see it before
once
it
the devil's lettuce hits his dome, he's locked in. That's my guy. Here's 100%. The thing.
Fire away.
It's a cunty move, for lack of a better phrase, because nobody cares, dude. Like, I honestly don't care who you told me to get last year, because I'm not going to go back and look. Are you? No, because you're just going to say all the good players and you're not going to circle jerk all of the bad players that you went after. Like, I'm a person that likes to make fun of the fact that I drafted Hakeem Butler high. Like, I took Corey Davis 102. Those are the things that helped me grow. You saying to take Brian Thomas Jr. early last year, get out of here, dude. Like, I'm not going to trust you because you said that. Ever. In any universe. Hell no. The Marvel universe, this universe, whatever multi-universe we have, absolutely not. Don't care that you said it. You're just trying to get clickbaity shit from all of the new players that are coming. But also, this is the thing. Dynasty players, smart. We are. Like, we're degenerates. Like, I say this every single time when I say the date. This is July 27th, and you're watching a fantasy football podcast or you're listening to it. Brother, you are better than most people in your league. Just for the simple fact that you care enough to do that kind of stuff. So when you read that kind of stuff, it doesn't help you. It's not actionable. Listen, if Gladys in accounting needs that and she's going to follow it, by all means, do it. Waste my damn time, though.
Well, it's the reason why I do it. One, we've always been transparent on this show. Here in a couple of weeks before the season starts, we'll hit you with our hot takes episode. We do it every year. And then we go back in February and we talk about where we were right and where we were wrong. What this content feels like is this content is literally for people who don't pay their league dues. That is what I think of as like, because we do content. That's what this is. This is content. And when we do content, I'm like, who is this for? I'm like, it's for the serious Dynasty gamer who wants an entertaining show and wants to pick up concepts and things and players and what so to, be better with the game. And I'm like, who is this for? When I see these guys, who is this for? And for me, like I said, my first thought was, this is for people who don't pay their league dues. That's the content, because when this bullshit content doesn't hit, that's the person who didn't take the league dues, and then the commissioner's got to hunt them down for the next 6 weeks.
I'm just also a person that doesn't care about social media. Like, I understand it if they're doing it for money and they want to get their name out there. They got to do what they got to do. Like, I'm not upset at you. It's just, it doesn't matter to me. Like, I want to talk actionable advice, and I want to talk about things that I have absolutely monumentally screwed up as a Dynasty player to make you not do those things. And hopefully I don't do it in the future also, because I am selfish. Hell, me and Randy are sharing a team. I was about to snap accept a trade today. And I was like, you know what, Jerry? Randall's a smart man. Text him, see what he said. You said it was fine. I pulled the trigger.
We can spin that into the show. But speaking of people who are here for the content, they could hear us make fun of these ass clowns anytime they wanted, but they came for some camp news and as it relates to their Dynasty thing. So let's give them unk.
You take your top lip and connect it to your bottom lip, you will shut the fuck up. Sometimes shutting the fuck up is the best thing you can do.
Facts. 100%.
Honestly, that's like a motto of my life.
Oh, dude, it's.
I mean, a lot of people that leave YouTube comments, not you guys, not the live chat, after once that video posts, they wish I would do that. right there to them.
You have a very punchable face.
I do have a punchable face. You are
Well,
not wrong.
Well, listen, let's talk about your trade. And guys, we'll try to save a little time. Last week, Cortland Jones was listening to the show, and we didn't get to the trade, and Jerry went in the comments and got it. We super apologize. We're not doing that, but I will do this at the end of the show, and I'll denote this so you can turn off if you're not here for that. I will give you a spoiler-filled review of the Fantastic Four. Got that done. And then I will tell you about a new project that I'm working on at the end of the show, but you got to stick around to the end of the show, and we'll see where it goes. Now, the trade that you mentioned today, it is a super flex. It is a tight end premium. It is 2 tight end premium, actually.
Yeah,
1.75. And you said, what do you think about trading Caleb Williams for Ashton Genty?
Other way around.
So
I got Caleb Williams.
All right, doesn't really matter who got who, yes, but you got Caleb Williams and you gave up Ashton Genty. Now, did you try to do the old Memphis squeeze him for a second?
Nope. Thought about it. I really did. But then I just realized that's just playing games, and I didn't want to play games. But this team is all so bad. And now Randy was in this league and he left, and now he's, we're working on it together. So he knows my teams have been bad. Yeah, and I have had to gut it because I went for a win it all, and that was the year Aaron Rodgers got hurt and Matthew Stafford got hurt, and I had a bunch of running backs, and guess what? They're all old, and now they're useless. So I gutted this team. So it's not good. I'm not winning. My quarterbacks were J.J. McCarthy and Bryce Young. Now, which one of you is excited and thinks you're going to win a championship with those guys? Not a single one of you, hopefully. So I wanted to just get another option, get some stability with this team. So then when I have earlier picks over the next year or two, I can add someone like Ashton Genty when I need him. I don't need Ashton Genty right now. And if I can get somebody that's 23 years old, has all the potential in the world with Ben Johnson, I was going to take the opportunity. I also think JJ McCarthy is pretty good. And I think he has a shot and he has a great situation. I don't really think Bryce Young is ever going to be dynasty relevant, not dynasty relevant, but not somebody that's going to help me win. So I needed somebody. So I'll take Caleb. That was easy for me, honestly.
For me, yeah. I mean, I think back was like, could you have gotten Caleb Williams plus something for the 101 and let that was my only thing. Now, again,
Yeah.
I've seen this roster. It's a steamy pile, gang.
It is.
And this gives you 3 really good quarter.
And I have Travion Henderson also, so I at least have another shot at a young rookie running back.
You don't have to sell me because I signed off on it based off of your roster. Because by the time, it's probably going to be another 2 years before this team's really super hyper competitive. And by then, yeah, Ashton Genty's in year 3. But you're not going to get a better opportunity at a quarterback. Maybe you could have squeezed for a little bit more. I was fine with it, but it was again kind of like Slashy earlier about good people, bad tweets. It was clairvoyant because one of the notes that I took away this week was Ben Johnson, again former Lions OC, guy you love, and he came out and said he wants Caleb Williams to be a 70% passer. And when you hear that on the surface, that sounds like coach speak. And it is. Except for one thing. It's coach speak as it relates to Caleb Williams. But Jerry, in your opinion, how would he get Caleb Williams there?
I mean, he's going to have to focus. Randy's dying. He needs Jerry to save him. I mean, he's going to have to dink and dunk. He's got Colston Loveland. He's got DJ Moore. He's got the guys that can do that. Now, if that is the case, though, what does that say for Rome Odunze? Now, I've been in the chat talking with everybody about Rome Odunze and how I think he's good. But if he is going to be, if the offense is predicated on making him a 70% completion passer, how many shots is he going to take at Rome? I don't know. Well, I mean, that's tough.
You read my mind. And yeah, by the way, I thought I was going to cough into the microphone and I didn't want to cough mid-sentence, but that's exactly where my mind went. My mind went, because you think about someone's going to get the Jahmyr Gibbs type role, the way that he's used in the passing game. Is that DeAndre Swift? Is that Roschon Johnson? I don't know. But someone in that backfield is going to be hyper point scoring this year. Now, again, they're not going to automatically wave a Ben Johnson magic wand and turn one of those guys into Jahmyr Gibbs, but there's going to be a lot of fantasy points there. But I did have that same thought that you had about Rome Odunze. I think you just think about who and where they work close to the line of scrimmage. I think it's fair to say that Rome Odunze is the best deep ball pass receiver on the team. So for me, if Rome Odunze is going to be what people are wanting him to be, what I'm seeing in the chat, you are going to need a Mike Evans level of efficiency. That's what you're hoping for, because I don't think that he's going to get the volume in what could be a dink and dunk offense. I think it'll be okay for DJ Moore. I think it'll be awesome for Colston Loveland, and it's going to be awesome for one of the running backs. I just don't love it for Rome Odunze. I'm not making major moves.
That's if what Ben Johnson is saying is not a total crock of crap.
Well, I think it has to be a telling the truth. Of course, what coach wouldn't want their quarterback to throw 70%?
I mean, yeah, but I can wish in one hand and shit in the other, and we'll see which one fills up quicker.
Well, but in order to fill one up, you got to start shitting. That's kind of where I'm going with Caleb Williams. Yeah. If he wants him to get from like a 64% passer up to a 70, he's got to make a little bit safer throws. He's got to make a little bit shorter throws. He's got to make that one read, check the ball down, get it to the running back, get it to Colston Loveland.
Which is not necessarily a bad thing for Rome either, because then the drives are continuing and it's giving him more opportunities, because if we have the Bears offense on the field for longer, all of them will have more opportunities to score points. Now, granted, as a Lions fan, I hope they burn and crash.
I throw up Darth Twerk in the YouTube chat. Listen, Darth, we're not out on Rome Odunze. You just need him to be efficient. You need him to maximize the targets he gets, and he could also work closer to the line of scrimmage. I do believe there's a world where if the Bears are not like a playoff contender, I could see where they would trade a DJ Moore. I don't think it's likely, but there is a possibility. But I just thought that was huge. I thought that was huge for Caleb Williams. I think it's really more huge again for Loveland, Moore, and whichever running back locks in that majority pass catcher role. I thought that was like my ears perked up, and I have been stacking extra Roschon Johnson because it's cheap. It's cheap. You're not going to pay the DeAndre Swift prices.
Yeah, I mean, DeAndre Swift is still pretty cheap though. Like he's worth a stab. You don't love it. You don't feel good about it, but I'm fine with where the Bears are at. I think Ben Johnson is going to do good things for him. I don't know if I'm necessarily as hyped as a lot of people were when he signed there, just because the Lions had built it already and he has to build it with the Bears. So it's going to take a little bit of time. So don't get your panties all in a bunch. They'll get there. It's fine. Be patient. Everybody in that offense is pretty stable, pretty reliable for the near future.
Well, I took that as coach speak that we could use, that we could materialize into something positive for Dynasty. On a scale of 1 to bullshit, what did you take away from Michael Penix's presser the other day, where he says, "Oh yeah, we're getting Kyle Pitts more involved in the offense," and we just talked about him. The Twitter bros went hard. Oh yeah, 6th year breakout. It's 5th year. He's on the 5th year option. And, an alleged trade candidate. Jerry, do you believe Michael Penix is telling the truth?
No, I don't. But I also don't think Kyle Pitts is as bad as he has been. At some point, Kyle Pitts is going to be a usable tight end for Dynasty. Everybody just gets the Brock Bowers and the Sam Laportas and the Trey McBrides, and we even got a taste of it with Kyle Pitts his first year when he had 1,000 yards. But no, he should not be the focal point of that offense, because let's be honest, he has been a detriment to that offense. But That's what Michael Penix has to say. Like he's got to have his people. I'm not so sure that we're going to see Michael Penix for 17 games this year, but that's me.
Are you thinking injury when you say that, or are you just?
I just think they are going. I just think they are going to lose games, and they still have Kirk Cousins there, and Kirk Cousins is healthy. Now, maybe I am influenced by Netflix's quarterback series. Maybe I'm influenced by the shirt that I'm wearing that I just like Kirk Cousins. But also, I'm just not a huge believer in Michael Penix, and nothing that he did last year really made me think he's awesome. So I just feel like if that team loses and gets on a streak where they're losing, and you've got Drake London and you've got Bijan and you paid Kyle Pitts a bunch of money, they're going to want to win.
I mean, the only upside, if you and you shouldn't, but if you still believe in Kyle Pitts, it's okay. There are little kids who believe in Santa Claus, so it's totally fine to believe in Kyle Pitts.
Listen,
but
here's what. Sorry to interrupt, and I don't mean to sidetrack you, but for a long time we crapped on Jonnu Smith. For a long time, everybody was hyping up Jonnu Smith, and we always poo-pooed it. He finally showed up. Now, maybe it was only once, and maybe we'll never see it again. But at some point, maybe we'll see it again with Kyle Pitts.
You could, but if you want to wait until year 8 of his career to post that W, you go right ahead. You go right ahead. So Michael Penix, like that's the savior, right? Michael Penix started now, and this is not weeks, but this is game 15, 16, 17.
Yeah.
How many combined targets from the guy who's going to target him a bunch? How many combined targets did he have in 3 games with Michael Penix Jr.?
10.
It's exactly 10. He had 2, 5, and 3 in 3 Michael Penix starts. And this was a team that was still in contention to win their division late in the season. I'm telling you, this is the same thing people fell for last year in a different version. Last year, people were talking about, we're gonna
line him out. Put him out wide.
We're gonna line him up wide. What the hell do you think they've been doing the first 3 years of his career? Here's the thing, he's too slow. I know people go, look at his 40. Look, dude, separation is created, and he don't get it. So you can say whatever you want. It's great that he's a good athlete. Super cool. You know who else is a great athlete? Mike Gesicki. Never really materialized. And here's the thing. So far for their career, I think I'd rather have Mike Gesicki, if I'm being totally honest. I mean, Kyle Pitts had the one
that
good
should
year.
Say something.
Please, pretty please, if you're listening to the Dynasty WarZone, pretty please with sugar on top, do not fall for the Kyle Pitts banana in the tailpipe. Jerry, I said in the show title, I have 5. That's a lie. I have 5 and 2 bonus ones. So actually it's 7. I'm going to try to get to all of them, but one that I threw out there at the last minute because I was doing some other research, and I noticed that the Pittsburgh Steelers had a 23.7% target share to the running back position last year. And you know what? You know who's looked like a beast in the early part of camp? Speaking of Iowa, Caleb Johnson. Now, I'm not ready to slingshot him past, obviously, Ashton Genty, Travion Henderson, Omarion Hampton, even for me, RJ Harvey, although they've gotten a lot closer.
The possibility is still there for to beat all of them.
For a guy who runs the ball like Caleb Johnson runs the ball, the thought of him being used, and obviously as a running back, he's not going to get all 23.7% of the target share that went to the running back. But let's just say for easy math, Pittsburgh threw the ball 400 times last year. Well, we're going to round up. 25% of that would be 100 targets to the running backs. Can Caleb Johnson get 50 targets? Could he get 40? If he gets 45, it's a home run. It is a home run, and this is the guy who's been up until the Judkins news with the arrest. This has been a guy who's been largely the RB 5 or 6 in this class.
Yeah,
and I think we're going to look back and be like, "Whoa, this guy ended up being a tremendous steal for Dynasty, Jerry, especially because where he was going, he probably wound up on a lot of contenders because he was going in that 110 to 202 range in a 12-team league. I mean, as much as I'm excited for Travion Henderson, I'm starting to, again, this is why training camp is important for Dynasty. We're looking for clues. We're looking for this is where you can chase some upside. I was stoked, man. I was like, whoa, I might have been off.
I mean, 2 years ago, one Randall Young also went a little haywire for a guy during the training camp season named Kyron Williams, and that has worked out well. Now, I didn't listen to you, and I still have never listened to you because I hate Kyron Williams, but I'm with you. I think Caleb Johnson is good. I also just think Jaylen Warren is not that great, and I don't really think anybody else is going to have competition, and we can crap on Arthur Smith all we want to do, but as an offensive coordinator, he's been sort of nice to us for the most part. As a head coach, you know, different for sure, but I'm excited for what Caleb Johnson can do. I just think he's going to have the opportunity. So if he can get a chunk of those targets, then yes, hell yeah. Because I just think he's also pretty explosive. Like I know his 40 wasn't like rip the roof off, but like at Iowa, there was a lot of times where that guy would hit a hole and then he was 40 yards downfield in an instant.
Jerry, you may have to clean this one up. Regular contributor to the YouTube chat, Jamie, he says, the issue with Caleb Johnson this year is Aaron Rodgers. If Caleb misses a block, then he could be on Aaron's bad side. I'm paraphrasing.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
But that's the risk with any of the rookie running backs.
It is, yes, for sure. But it is more so with Aaron Rodgers. Because Aaron Rodgers is going to be the absolute just controller of what that offense is going to do because they don't really have another option. And if you're going to go all in with a guy who's 155 and loves ayahuasca, you sort of have to let him do whatever he wants to do.
Fragile. He's an older fella. We know that's a good I don't want to say wet blanket, but that cools the that cools some of the optimism. One I'm going to share with you right from my backyard. And I think he's a guy that we're sleeping on. But before I do, I want to tell you about Dynasty Deluxe.
If you play in Dynasty, you need Dynasty Deluxe, our premium package for Dynasty Leaguers. We rank over 300 players, updated every week, all year long. And there's a win now mode and a rebuild mode with Superflex and tight end premium controls. And a Dynasty League sync where you can say, sync down all of my sleeper teams, all my FFPC teams. And then you can browse around your leagues for who has needs. And then you can use our trade finder to see what kinds of trades are happening in leagues that are similar to the one I want to do. Then you can analyze trades using our trade analyzer, which balances the lifetime value, which includes pick values out to like 2028. All of that plus the rookie guide, $25 value is included. So if you're just in one Dynasty League, Dynasty Deluxe is well worth it. And use your host's promo code, and you can bump up to all in and get $25 off.
Yep, and it's a great time to use it. So promo code's WarZone. Simple stuff, WarZone. Let's keep moving, Jerry. So I'm an Indianapolis guy. And if you want to throw Grand Park, it's actually in a suburb of Indianapolis, Grand Park. It's a baseball. It's an all-sport facility. They have 8 baseball diamonds. That's where my son and the travel team I coach, that's where we play a bunch. But they also host Colts training camp. Okay? And I'll tell you who's absolutely ripping it up for the Indianapolis Colts in the backfield right now. And I think we're probably a little low on this guy. And it's DJ Giddens. Goodness gracious. So much fun to watch him in the backfield. And wasn't it who was the guy last year? I'm drawing a blank. They had a couple of scrubs with the Colts, but is it fair to say Jonathan Taylor isn't the healthiest guy around, Jerry?
He gets banged up.
And it's not like he's a satellite back when I say DJ Giddens. Now, he's a good pass catcher. He had a 29 and a 21 catch season, while he was in college. So he can catch the football. But I mean, this dude's a good-sized fella, Jerry. I think we're low, and I love the athlete that he is. Last year, Jonathan Taylor played 14 games, and Trey Sermon was the name that I was looking for.
Yeah.
You know, Trey Sermon got 56 carries last year. Tyler Goodson had 32 carries last year, but these two guys also had combined 35 combined targets. Can some of this go to DJ Giddens? And then again, Jonathan Taylor had 300 carries in 14 games. So I actually told Brittany, shout out Brittany, she's playing in the Queens Classic at the FF Expo. I told her, I was like, she makes the thumbnails for the show. I was like, I'm huge on Jonathan Taylor this year, but from Dynasty, which is what we do, Jonathan Taylor's expensive. And he's a guy that could be on the move. Maybe a contender comes calling. I don't think Indy's going to be a contender. I just see a world where DJ Giddens is worth about 4x what he's worth now. And dude, what a fun athlete to watch play football, Jerry.
Yeah, I mean, you want to see flashes because we haven't gotten a long-term JT contract. And no offense, your Colts not looking too great. Maybe Jonathan Taylor wants to get a little different scenery other than old Indianapolis, which is a great city if you have never been there. But, you know, maybe dude wants to win a little bit. Maybe he wants to get some good press. If we can see something from Giddens during the season, then maybe he gets the first crack next year. And then his value is, you know, silly. I mean, I'm going to sell the shit out of him if that's the case, but that's me. And as far as this year, though, I mean, you're not relying on him because JT is that hammer. Like, JT is that dude.
And JT, so while you mentioned his contract, I pulled it up. This year, if they were to cut him today, they would save $3 million, which without a star quarterback, you don't need three. I mean, we all need $3 million.
Yes,
they don't
we
need
really
$3
do.
But they can cut him next year, and the cap savings would be $13 million.
Yeah.
And they're working on extending their left tackle, Bernhard Reinert, or whatever his name is. They've got some needs at other areas, and I'm just saying this is the guy that this is what I want from DJ Giddens as both a Colts fan and as a Dynasty GM. I want him to have flashes. I want him to show me that he can handle this job next year, and then I can ride him in Dynasty years 2, 3, and 4 of his rookie contract, and I can have a guy that can. Again, he's probably never going to be an RB1 in Dynasty.
No, but
he's a guy who can give me points,
and he has the opportunity to increase in value, regardless of what he does on a football field. In the event that Jonathan Taylor gets hurt, his value goes up. In the event that Jonathan Taylor is no longer an Indianapolis Colt, his value goes up. So even if you think he is a worse running back than I am, for one, you're wrong. I got weak ankles. I'm out of shape. Not good. You'll still be able to profit, which is all we really need to do in this game, right?
He is, for me, as a contender. Like if you're making trades and you're out there, he is the throw in I'm looking to get right now. And I don't want to is it the guy from Washington, something, he's got the hyphenated name. Jaquez Hunter from the Rams, Rashard Smith from the Chiefs. There's a lot of guys getting hyped right now. And I don't mind people being hyped about the running back situation in Washington, but this is the one that I want. This has a very short barrier to entry. Like if you like Jaquez Hunter, you just mentioned my guy, Kyron Williams. You can hate him all you want. That's fine. That dude's been really good when healthy. Really, really good. I'm just looking at this from not a redraft perspective. Like I would never tell you to draft DJ Giddens in your office league, 16 person. But he's a guy, like I love doing this as a redraft hack that I like to do. I like to have that one spot every week that's like a flip spot. And every week before, the games kick off, I like to pick up this guy and then I drop him and then I can pick him up again later. And it's almost like, hedging against the Jonathan Taylor injury, but you can do it with a bunch of guys too. I'm just merely saying he's a guy like this. I don't know. I like the opportunity. I like the
strategy wise, taking shots on running backs that are getting any sort of training camp hype. Pretty good idea. Right. Because like if they end up not doing anything, okay, see ya. You're the first person I'm dropping week 1. But also if they can emerge into something, A, you can profit, B, you get some points out of it if they really end up hitting. If you really find like Alfred Morris, because Alfred Morris was such an angel when he came on.
He had some good runs, but I want to get into a couple of more of these. Not good for me as a Colts fan. You know, I mentioned my Colts fandom, and you're obviously a Lions fan. And by the way, shout out to Darth Twerk in the chat. It's Krosky Merritt. I mean, I was going to butcher it regardless, but yeah, Krosky Merritt.
I wasn't going to get it, so I didn't try.
Yeah, shout out to Darth. You know, come through in the clutch. But as a Colts fan, what I'm not super stoked to see is another reminder that we have the worst quarterback in the division. Because, dude, Cam Ward looks like the real flipping deal. There's a highlight. And again, it's don't fall for the hype season. But, dude, he made a throw to Tyler Lockett the other day. He threw it just over what looked to be the linebacker and just in front of the corner. And it was an absolute thing of beauty. The kid does not look rattled back there behind the line of scrimmage. He's clearly a football junkie. And from a dynasty standpoint, I'm just saying from a dynasty standpoint, Xavier Restrepo, if you go to Our Lads and you put Tennessee Titans, Our Lads, don't put Tennessee Our Lads because you'll get the Volunteers first. Not shocking. That's the number 1 football team in the state of Tennessee, my B. Tennessee Titans, Our Lads. You'll notice that Xavier Restrepo is currently listed as the second string slot wide receiver behind 87-year-old Tyler Lockett. And that's Cam Ward's boy. So I'm super interested in him. And then same with Alec Ayomanor. There's going to be, I mean, and it's cool to like Calvin Ridley. If I'm in Dynasty and I have Calvin Ridley, I want Calvin Ridley on a contender. Anything else, I want out of the Calvin Ridley business. But I'm looking at this offense, and I think it's going to be good. I like their head coach. I like the offense last year. I'll be the first to put my hand up and said, hey, I thought Will Levis was going to be good. I was wrong. What is wrong with me backing someone who puts mayonnaise in coffee, eats a banana without a peel? Probably got a screw loose rolling around up there. But, dude, Cam Ward looks to be the real deal. I like Brian Callahan. I like the offensive line. I think this is going to be a fun offense. And because they're not a quote-unquote winning team, they're probably going to pass a hair more than an average team. I think there's a lot to be excited about. Again, if you got Calvin Ridley and you're a contender, I think that's good for you. I think that's really good for you.
Fine.
I think he'll be like a wide receiver 3, 4 that can give you wide receiver 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And that's all you're looking for. You're looking for a guy to outperform his value. In redraft, you can say outperform his ADP. In Dynasty, you're looking for someone who can, like Calvin Ridley, clearly a wide receiver 4 in Dynasty. But if he can perform on your roster at the pace of a wide receiver 2, that's a win. You are winning in that scenario, my friend. So I'm intrigued by this offense. I wish I had more Cam Ward in Superflex. But Jerry, anything when I bring up Tennessee?
No, I mean, I've taken plenty of shots on Cam Ward, and I didn't think I was going into this draft class. I didn't think I was going to take quarterbacks at all, but you know, everybody went crazy about Ashton Genty, and a couple people took Tet McMillan and the other running Omari and Hampton. So he slipped a little. So, I mean, if you had like 103, 104, there was a chance you could get him. I took a couple stabs. He's my QB2 in Scott Fishbowl. I'm about it. There are absolutely 100% going to be weeks this season where he screws you over if you have to start him. He's a rookie in the NFL, not on a great team. Like, you just have to understand that is going to be part of the process. But as long as we can see 2-3 weeks where he can hit like that, oh, hell yeah, this is the guy. Like Jaden Daniels did it a lot. Of course, like I don't want to suggest that that's what this man's going to do, but if he could do it half the amount that Jaden Daniels did, then I'm at least excited that I have him on my team. I'm excited to see what he can do moving forward. And the pieces in that offense are only going to get better. Because let's be honest, if Kelvin Ridley is the top dog, ew. And that goes for your running backs too. Like running backs are sort of ew, right? Like everybody's like, okay, Tajay Spears is fine, right? Like Tony Pollard had a little bit of hype, 15 months ago. But like in the scale of like the NFL teams, ew. Like that whole offense is gross. So if they are going to be good and he's going to see flashes, it's going to be because of him. And that is a good thing trajectory-wise going forward.
I'm telling you, Xavier Restrepo, I think he's no longer free 99, but he is worth a stash.
You convinced me to take a couple stashes. So I do have him. I think I took him in Scout Fishbowl too, actually.
This one right here wasn't so much a camp takeaway, except that I hadn't seen a lot of Evan Ingram so far in camp. But did you know Denver was one of the teams that used the tight end position the least last year? Only 13% of their targets went to the tight end position.
I mean, and they also didn't really have anybody, though.
In fairness, their tight ends were someone named Lucas Krull, Adam Troutman, Nate Adkins, Greg Dulcich. Remember when both Troutman and Dulcich were just they were the hype, man. So maybe, by the way, another little thing, because like I said, I noticed this stat, so I started, I took the stat, started looking at camp. Can you name a cheaper in both seasonal and in Dynasty? Can you name a cheaper wide receiver that got 135 targets last year, quarterback, play caller staying the same than Cortland Sutton?
No, but
Cortland Sutton had 2.5x. It was then behind them Devon Valet, 55. Troy Franklin, 52. Marvin Mims Jr., also 52. He had essentially 2.5 times any other wide receiver. Actually, I'm going to do a little quick math. Yeah, he had like 20 less than those three combined. I'm telling you, there's not a cheaper 135 target, especially red zone targets. With his height and his size, he gets a ton of red. Again, we just mentioned, I think Ridley's more of a wide receiver 3 in Dynasty, but he's a guy, I think last year, if I remember correctly, he finished as wide receiver 15. Man, if you're a contender, you can do a lot worse than giving your 2026 second to go get Cortland Sutton.
I mean, I don't know if you're going to get Sutton for a second, brother. I mean, I know people hate him.
Well,
but people hate seconds more than they hate just about anything in Dynasty. A Dynasty second is the least sexy thing in the history of time.
Can you do me a favor and take off your Detroit Tigers hat and put on your salesman cap for just a second?
I'm just saying, I'm not saying it's impossible.
I'm just saying, and maybe Calvin Ridley will be that guy, but it's like, again, these are cheap points. Oh, thank you, Jamie. I wasn't going to rub this in Jerry's face, but too late. Jerry, it's not my fault. It's Jamie's fault, but he's not wrong. Javonte Williams was second in targets last year on the Broncos with 72. Hey, who's the rookie running back they took super early in the draft, Jerry?
Son of a bitch.
RJ Harvey. And what's funny is Jaleel McLaughlin had 27. So between two running backs, they had 100. So even if he split those 50-50 with J.K. Dobbins, my man's going to get 50 to 70 targets. I'm in there. By the way, thank you guys, especially the YouTube audience and the YouTube. Jerry pointed this out to me the other day. We have the most watched short this offseason. So essentially, like since February, we have the most watched short, and it was pre-arrest, our debate of RJ Harvey versus Quinshawn Judkins.
Yeah, that did not age well for Gerald.
I didn't want to bring it up because you're on the wrong side of the law again with Quinshawn Judkins. But real quick, Chandler, I see you in the chat. We're coming up toward the end. That's actually 6. I was gonna bring up New England, but Chandler, throw your question in there. We'll help you out on the way out, please. Dude, I'm liking New England. I don't want Pop Douglas. I don't want Stephon Diggs. I'm intrigued by Kyle Williams. They're starting to become
You don't want to take a
Kyle.
shot on Stephon Diggs?
I do not. He's the quintessential on that third marriage in 4 years, and it's for a reason. Coming off of an ACL, I just don't see now, because he's not the superstar he was a few years ago. He might be minding his manners a little bit better, especially with a head coach like Mike Vrabel. I just don't see it. And I really like it. I like Kyle Williams, and I really like Hunter Henry. If those are my nuggets, those are my two takeaways from camp. Drake May looks really good, and I'm pretty stoked for him. As you know, in our patron leagues, Patron 20, I took Drake May this year in a startup. So I'm in. Jerry, do you have anything on Drake May?
I think he's fine. I need to see it before I trust him, though. I need to see that whole team before I trust it. That includes Travion, who I have been borderline wanting to build a statue of for the last 6 weeks. That was a horrendous team last year, and to see if they're going to make a dramatic jump, that's a tough sell for me. Which means they're probably going to struggle, which means they are probably not going to be great, which means they are probably not going to help me out consistently.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Buckeye DK from the YouTube chat. He has 0 shares. He being Diggs. Diggs is into partying and Cardi B. Kyle Williams and Hendy, meaning Travion Henderson, to the moon. Yeah, I just see that being their young core. Year 2 quarterback, year 1 wide receiver, year 1 running back. They're going to take some lumps along the way from a win-loss perspective, but I'm super in on Drake May. And again, I like cheap things that it can increase in value, as opposed to the things that are already expensive.
That is a good offense to go after if that's the case.
So that's where all this came from. It wasn't like going out and say, you guys should go get Ashton Genty. I don't know if you heard this or not. He's pretty good. Pretty good at football. Maybe Mike Neighbors. It's like, no.
We talked about trading away Ashton Genty
we try to give you actionable things. All right. I'm going to see if Chandler puts his question in here. First, I'm going to start with some big news. So the thing that a few years ago, and it was a while ago, that started our Patreon was a show I did at the now retired Dynasty Happy Hour Network. Our boys Tyler, Doug, and Eddie. That I did a show on their network, kind of like I'm doing now with Player Profiler, called the Dynasty, Contractor. And essentially,
I was rocking my DHH Contractor shirt the other day. Actually,
we had merch. And just somewhere along the way, coaching baseball and other commitments, I just lost the time for it. Well, it's coming back, but we've rebranded our channel, the Dynasty WarZone, the Dynasty Contractors channel. Because if you, the Player Profiler listener, are already subscribed to Player Profiler, why would you go watch the Dynasty WarZone on the Dynasty WarZone channel? I mean, it helps us out, and we love you for it.
It's true.
But this is when I say, hey, this is where you will be able to get some of the best trade advice, roster reconstruction. I'm doing it with a buddy. I'm doing it with a guy named Dustin Royer. You might have seen him popping around on the Dynasty Rewind. He's been a guest on the show before. I'd like to try to get him on next week to talk about it, but it's coming back. And what does that mean with you? If we see news, so I know what the number is. I got the number written down. As people start subscribing, we'll start contracting for free your roster. Jerry, you could probably be our first client. You've got many a roster that needs to be rebuilding, and the whole premise of the show has always been, when I did it a few years ago, my wife used to make me watch those really, I don't say boring, but those really unique HGTV shows about flip this house and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, we should flip this Dynasty roster. I was like, but what do all those shows have? You have an electrician, you have a carpenter, you have a plumber, etc., that help with the rebuild. So we will have more information on this next week. I'm going to try to get Dustin to jump on next week. He's an early bird. He gets up like at 5 a.m. So even being up to 9, I thought old man Memphis, was going to bed. But we're Dustin says in the chat, I'm going to need a 4th from Jerry just to get that rebuild started. So new show coming up on the Dynasty Contractors YouTube channel. We'll get Jerry over there. And I've had a lot of fun doing these shows over the years. We have our buddy, Dr. Kyle. We did a gambling show for a couple of seasons. Our boy Dallas did a rookie show for us a couple of seasons. It's good to have some. Oh, our boys Jesse, Mike, Chad, and Austin, they started their own thing, the Dynasty front office. Throw them a sub if you're so inclined. Good dudes. But yeah, we're doing something new. And for you, the player profiler audience, we want to help you. All you guys in the chat, Jamie, Darth, any of you guys that need it, go over and subscribe so that we can potentially help you work through one of your Dynasty rosters. Does that sound good, Jer?
That sounds like a hell of a time, brother. I loved the original.
Well,
hell, I bought a shirt. I've got like 3 Dynasty shirts. I got one for the WarZone. I got the Contractor, and ready for this, Dustin? I also got a Dynasty Rewind shirt. Maybe I'll bust that out.
You got to wear one of those next week. All right. If you made it all the way to the end, I'm going to give you my somewhat spoiler-free review of the Fantastic Four. So, Jerry, went and saw it on Thursday in Cincinnati.
All right, so you know, if you're here for Dynasty, it's done.
It's gone. You guys,
you can click. You go take that poop you got to do, whatever you got to do.
Have a great night.
We love y'all.
Tip your waitress. Try the veal. But anyway, so the guys all wanted to, there's the hotel. The hotel we picked was great because right across the street was like a really nice mall, and they had like a B-dubs, and the guys wanted to go do that. And I was like, well, it's only 8:30, so I went and saw a 9:00 showing of the Fantastic Four. And I gotta say, it was good. It was really, really good. They didn't give away a bunch of junk in the previews. You guys know I'm a Marvel nerd. The thing, I don't remember that guy's name, the actor's name. Good plot, good. The Galactus portrayal was great. So for you comic book and Marvel nerds, Jerry, this is the place to go. You need to go check out the Fantastic Four. Have you seen it? Will you seen it? Any thoughts on it?
You know damn well I am not a superhero guy. I may watch it at some point whenever it streams on something. But I think that's probably a better question for the chat if they are curious about it, because I've never been a superhero guy. I don't know what it is. But I like sci-fi stuff, so I'm not exactly sure why that I just never have gotten into it.
This one is much more. Now, see, normally I like the opposite. I like more of like that street level, the Punisher, the Daredevil, etc. But this one was okay. This one was good. It was worth the money. Do you believe in Rotten Tomato scores? Like, do you ever like
to an extent? Yeah.
It's got a 92 rating right now. Now that could change as more, but that's strong. That tells you that it's pretty highly thought of, and it's fun. You don't have to understand anything about any previous Marvel movie. As a matter of fact, it's almost like if you wanted to get back on the train, it's getting ready to set up the next handful of movies coming out. So like maybe you've been off for a while, you haven't been watching any Marvel stuff. Highly recommend you check it out, Jerry.
Listen,
I mean, it's air conditioned. Are the theaters in Iowa air conditioned?
Yeah, oh, brother, it's 107 degrees today.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can get into a movie theater for 2 hours and 15 minutes. It's great. It's dark. You get a soda, maybe a nice big bucket of popcorn. You can't beat it, Jerry.
So listen, maybe. Now I am a slut for movie theater popcorn. It's the only time I'll eat popcorn because popcorn is actually not good for anyone. But Jerry, I do always get it at a movie theater.
I'm going to make you a scribe. Take down this name or reply in the comments. Either your Twitter handle, my Twitter handle, or both. We have NDK Dynasty. Does anyone have any orphans in their leagues that need a new home, new to Dynasty, looking to get in some more competitive active leagues? You know what? We might be able to take care of you. If not, we can retweet it. Let's help a YouTube commenter out. Jerry, dude, I looked. Football this Thursday night. Lions and Chargers. It's back. And I know people always poo-poo the Thursday night games and the fantasy games. It's like, dear God, just let us enjoy something. Just let it, the Colts first preseason game, August 7th. Okay, I'm in. Listen, I understand it's going to be bad football. I understand you're not going to see a lot of the starters. You know what? Watching games 1 and 2 of the preseason is a great way to see who's clicking in the offense from a dynasty perspective.
I don't care who's playing, Randy. I just want to watch the Honolulu blue and silver run onto the field. My God, does the blood flow to all the spots that the camera cannot show. Also, the marketing guy at my job, he's a Chargers fan. So if you think I am not going to bet him something, so if I have a Chargers shirt on next episode, it's because we lost that game. And I lost the bet. Because if you think I care who is going to play that game, I hope Hendon Hooker mops the floor with Trey Lance. Go Lions.
Go Lions. They're my adopted NFC team. Guys, we're going to be back. Next week, I think we've got Dustin lined up from the Dynasty Contractors. You guys will be able to check him out. Maybe we'll help Jerry with a roster. It's going to be a Dynasty show, and the regular season will be here before you know it. His name is Jerry Sinclair, and you should probably follow him on Twitter X because he doesn't do anything there. But you can follow him at JerrySinDWZ. You can follow the somewhat more active me at DWZ Memphis. And until next time, remember, Jerry and I, we're just trying to make the world a better place for fantasy football. We'll see you next week, guys.
Hey, I want to thank you for being part of this broadcast. If you have any thoughts on it, leave a comment. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like. And if you want to see more shows on the Player Profiler channel, subscribe to it. That's how we know you want more.